Good evening, everyone, and welcome to my informative speech on motorcycle riding. Everyone do me a favor and pull out your computer and look up motorcycle accidents in a Google search. And click on the news filter and observe how many number of accidents there's been today and yesterday. In 2018, according to the National Highway Traffic and Safety Administration, 4,985 people died. That's almost 5,000 people in 1 year in just the United States alone. About a decade ago, one of my aunts tragically died from a motorcycle accident without wearing a helmet. And just yesterday, an old friend of mine that I had tragically died from a motorcycle accident as well. So I'm making this video and this speech about motorcycle riding in order to increase awareness on safety practices on the motorcycle. But I also want to open the door to other people that were afraid of maybe starting a riding career on a motorcycle, if they're afraid of the statistics or what people have told them and whatnot. Because motorcycle riding is very safe as long as you take the risk that's presented and reduce it to a minimum, and that'll increase your chances of living by a lot. So in becoming a safe and competent rider, you must have this dedication and commitment and safe practices throughout the beginning of your training and all the way onto the streets when you ride for Howell or London. I'll present ways and ideas for how to start the licensing process, providing tips on riding safely, as well as other gear that you should be wearing, and other kinds of safety practices in that matter. There are many reasons that people love to ride. I'm going to list out a few reasons why I like to ride. It's simply fun. The exhilaration of riding a bike through the wind and feeling the wind in your face is great. Riding in nice weather, as well as with your people that you love or care about deeply, developing special relationships is another reason. However, when you have bad weather and the cost of the bike and insurance and riding gear starts to add up, that can be a little bit of a turnoff for many people that want to start riding. Starting licensing process can be easy. This is going to be specific to not a specific U.S. state, but according to the New York DMV, the process of actually just getting your license without any training, first you got to pass a written exam. Next, you're going to actually have to get a rider's permit, and then you actually have to schedule a riding evaluation at your local driver services facility. The other method is to actually do what I did and go through an approved riding course at a local location, which I'll talk about briefly here in the next slide. And you can complete this course and complete the evaluation at the end of this course, and that can actually serve as a waiver to not have to take the evaluation at the driver services facility. There's two types of licenses you can apply for too. There's a Class L and a Class M. The classes are just based on engine size. So for example, the engine of this motorcycle right here would be classified as a Class M because it's larger than 100 cc's, which stands for cubic centimeters. So for permits, there's two types of permits I want to briefly describe. There's what's called a motorcycle-driven cycle permit, or motor-driven cycle permit. So this is for Illinois specifically too. This is available to 16 to 17-year-olds specifically. In order to get this permit, you're subject to certain restrictions. These restrictions are to be supervised by a 21-year-old with at least 1 year of riding experience. You're only eligible to ride motorcycles that are classified under Class L, and it's valid for 24 months. And you can also ride during the daytime only, not the nighttime. The other permit is the motorcycle permit. It's just a regular motorcycle permit. This is valid for 12 months, specifically aimed for people that are 18 and older. And again, you have to be riding only during the daytime. You must be supervised by a 21-year-old with at least 1 year of experience. And you can actually ride either Class M or L motorcycles. So the training process, let's kind of talk briefly about that. In Illinois specifically, there are 3 regional locations that serve multiple locations for actual training across the state of Illinois. In order to sign up, simply go to one of these websites to enroll in one of these classes some date in the future. They usually run about 2 to 3 times a month, usually even once a week at some locations. The first rider course is called the BRC, the Basic Rider Course. And then you'll have to deposit $20, which will serve as a refundable $20 that you can actually get refunded to you at the end of the course. So in order to prepare for this class, all you have to do, you don't have to provide your own bike or your own helmet. All you need to provide is other protective gear such as a jacket, either jeans or other types of long closed pants, gloves, and boots, or closed-toe shoes. So what you should expect for this class is it to be very fast-paced. This is a 20-hour course of consistent riding all day over a course of a 3 to 4 day period. You must stay hydrated too, especially if you're doing it during the summer. It gets really hot. And you should be prepared to just eliminate all the factors out of your life that serve as conflict of interest to your preparedness for this class, because it does require time and dedication. So let's talk a little bit about how to ride safely in the real world. So first we're going to talk about riding gear specifically. So the first one is obviously a helmet. The Department of Transportation recommends to use either a 3/4 or a full-face helmet with a face shield. They also recommend to have eye protection of any sorts. This could mean a face shield or goggles or even your own eyewear, prescription lenses. They also recommend to wear gloves, pants, closed-toe shoes such as boots, or even tennis shoes could work, but they recommend that they be hard-toed. And also leather helps with any types of clothing. It helps you reduce the risk of injuring your skin or any part of your body in case you slide off the motorcycle. So a few other tips on improving safety on the motorcycle. The rider is a human factor in this situation. So you as the rider are the human factor, so you must always obey the traffic rules in whatever state that you ride in, which also means never ride under the influence of drugs and alcohol. I recommend never to drink before you go riding. You should also know your limitations. Know whether to make it a go or no-go decision when you're going riding, based on the weather, based on the pressures that are pushing you to ride, whatever it may be. Also, your motorcycles are your machine. This is the one element that you also need to make sure is ready to ride. You should always check your tire pressure, your cargo, your fluid levels, which means your fuel and your oil, the tread of your tires, as well as any other item that may be broken or out of the ordinary with your motorcycle. So, in conclusion, we basically talked about the certain basics of being safe, being a safe rider, which requires dedication and a commitment to safety practices that you'll use from the beginning of your training all the way to when you ride in the streets. So there's many benefits of riding, like I talked about, with it just being fun and feeling the wind and the exhilaration upon you. You should always have your gear on, obviously. It's much more dangerous than driving too. You're much more vulnerable to accidents when you're riding a motorcycle. So never forget that. Always know a way out of a situation if you come in a conflict. Always remember that motorcycling is not the safest form of transportation. So use your riding skills effectively, as well as your decision making too. As long as you use these skills, you'll ride for many more years. Thank you.